We have already seen how to put programs into setups in quick access banks. Let's look at how to use samples and key maps to create a program. Start in program mode and call up program 199, which is the default program. Press Edit to go into the program editor, then select the Key Map Soft button. As we did before, we'll call up a new key map. Select 168, which is silence. Now press Edit again. This takes you into the Key Map Editor, which is the page where you can assign different samples to ranges on the keyboard. Notice that a sample called silence is assigned across the entire range of the keyboard. Assigning a new sample is quite easy. Press the Assign button. The 2500 asks you to select a sample. We'll choose number 40, the ride bell. Press OK. Now the 2500 asks you to strike a low key and then a high key. Let's choose C4 for the low and G4 for the high. The display will return to the Key Map Edit page showing our sample assigned to the keys we struck. Let's do one more. Press Assign again. This time choose sample number 75, the conga tone. Assign it from C3 to G3. If you play across the keyboard, you will hear the two samples playing in their note ranges. Now let's examine our key map. The screen only shows you one range at a time, but by scrolling through the key range parameter, we can see that we now have silence assigned from C2 to B2. We have sample number 75 from C3 to G3, and then silence again from G#3 to B3, and then the ride symbol number 40 from C4 to G4, and then silence again from G#4 to G10. An important thing to understand about a key map is that it's like a string with different beads on it. For a regular key map, you cannot have more than one sample assigned to a note, and you can't have nothing assigned to a note or group of notes. There will always be a sample assigned, even if it is silence. The only situation where you can have more than one sample assigned to a note is in the case of velocity switching key maps. Please refer to your manual for more on this. As you have noticed, the sample transposes as you play it up and down the keyboard. In fact, the sample is transposed according to where its root key is defined. We put the root key in the name of all our samples to make it easier when you construct a key map. Now let's go back to the key range for sample 75. As you can see, the sample root is C4. But we have assigned it from C3 to G3. So we are hearing the sample transposed down an octave when we strike the C. We can change it so the sample plays at its original pitch by using the coarse tune parameter to transpose the sample back up. By setting coarse tune to 12 semitones, we can transpose the sample back up an octave so that the original pitch now plays at C3. You can use the fine-tune parameter for subtle tuning changes. Now let's look at the other parameters on the page. The New Range soft button allows you to quickly change the range of keys assigned to the currently displayed sample. The Volume Adjust parameter allows you to even out the volumes of various samples in the key map without having to go into the sample editor and change the actual sample. And Master Transpose will transpose the entire key map up or down the keyboard. Although it is beyond the scope of this video to cover sampling, we're going to take a brief detour and show you the sample editor. If you press Edit while in the Key Map Editor, you will jump into the sample editor. This is where you can change the start, end, and loop points of a sample and make other modifications. The sample you will be editing was the one that was currently displayed in the Key Map Editor. If you press the Miscellaneous Soft button, you will see the root key number, which we have just been referring to. Press Exit to leave the sample editor, and you are back on the Key Map Editor page. One more thing before we finish here. While you are on this page, if you press the MIDI mode button, the 2500 will jump to the sampling page. That's where you'll do all your own sampling. You can also get to the sampling page from the master mode page, but this is a very useful way to get to sampling. By starting on the default program with silence as the key map, you can jump into the sampler, create the samples you need, then when you